Have you ever woken up feeling emotionally drained, like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of stress and uncertainty? You know the feeling. Life's challenges seem to be piling up, doubts creep in, and you wonder if you have the strength to face it all. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're caught in the whirlwind of daily demands. But what if I told you the real key to emotional strength isn't about pushing yourself harder or forcing things to happen? It's about mastering your inner world. In today's episode, we're diving deep into 10 transformative habits that will make you emotionally stronger, drawing inspiration from the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics understood something fundamental true. Strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship or seeking constant approval from others. Instead, it comes from cultivating an inner calm, responding to challenges with wisdom, and finding peace even in the toughest of times. What if you could face each day with clarity and confidence, remain unshaken during difficult moments, and discover strength in silence and self-reflection? These are the foundational habits of Stoic resilience, and today I'll show you how to incorporate them into your own life. By making these habits part of your daily routine, you can completely transform your emotional landscape, becoming more self-aware, empowered, and steady, no matter what life throws your way. So, are you ready to begin building emotional strength that will serve you in every aspect of your life? Let's explore these 10 Stoic-inspired habits that will guide you toward emotional mastery. 1. Start your day by identifying what you control and what you don't. Every morning is filled with a whirlwind of thoughts. What should you tackle first? How will you manage your time? What challenges lie ahead? But here's the real question. How often do you stop to ask yourself what you truly have control over? Think about it. How many of your thoughts focus on things outside of your control? External situations, other people's actions, and unforeseen obstacles. All of these can suck your emotional energy dry. But the first habit for emotional strength is simple, yet powerful. Start your day by recognizing what you can control. The Stoics were experts in understanding the difference between what is within our control and what isn't. They believed true peace and strength come when we focus only on what we can influence and release everything else. The Stoic principle of internal and external circles beautifully illustrates this idea. Everything in life can be broken down into two categories: the things we control and the things we don't. For example, you can control how you react to a difficult situation, but you can't control how others behave or the challenges that arise unexpectedly. When you waste your energy trying to control things beyond your influence, you're essentially squandering your emotional resources. So each morning ask yourself, what do I have control over today? Make a mental list. Your attitude, your actions, your decisions, your mindset. This simple mental shift empowers you instantly. You stop dwelling on things that are beyond your control and redirect your energy where it truly matters. Let's say you have a busy work day ahead. Instead of stressing about meetings you can't influence or how others will react to your ideas, focus on your preparation, your mindset. How you approach the day, how you handle each moment, and how you choose to respond when obstacles appear, that's where your true power lies. By adopting this habit, you start each day with a sense of clarity and purpose. You become emotionally stronger by learning to focus only on what truly matters. Imagine the freedom you'll feel when you let go of everything outside your control and fully embrace what you can influence. Picking up where we left off, remember that you hold the power to control how you approach every situation. Whether you stay calm, find a solution, or let the challenges of the day derail your progress. This power of focusing on what you can control truly lies in your hands, and it's a game changer. When you start focusing on what's within your control, you begin to shift the balance. No longer will you feel helpless or at the mercy of life's unpredictability. Instead, you'll feel empowered. This shift in mindset is the cornerstone of emotional strength, as it frees you from frustration and takes you off the emotional roller coaster caused by external events. You stop internalizing things outside your control and take ownership of your day. The more you practice this habit, the more it becomes second nature. And soon it won't matter what happens around you. You'll instinctively know where to channel your energy to create the best results. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control everything in life, we can always control how we respond. Starting each day with the intention of focusing on what's within your control sets you on the path of mastering your emotional world. This habit doesn't just set the tone for your morning, though, it affects every moment of your day. By practicing it, you'll navigate challenges with clarity and composure. So, tomorrow morning, before you get swept up in the whirlwind of responsibilities and distractions, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what do I control today? Focus on that and watch how it transforms your emotional state and the rest of your day. 2. Practice the inner pause before reacting to emotions. Have you ever said something you instantly regretted? Something in the heat of the moment when frustration or anger took over? We've all been there. It's easy to get caught up in our emotions, and before we know it, we've acted on them, saying or doing things we wish we hadn't. That immediate emotional reaction, whether it's anger, sadness, or frustration, often leads to decisions or actions we wouldn't otherwise take. The second habit for building emotional strength is all about practicing the inner pause, a brief moment of stillness, before reacting to your emotions. Instead of letting anger, sadness, or frustration dictate your actions, this pause gives you the space to reflect and choose your response consciously. This practice may seem simple, but its impact is powerful. It allows you to take control of your emotional responses rather than letting them control you. The Stoics were firm believers in self-control and taught that while we can't always control our emotions, we can always control how we respond to them. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This profound wisdom highlights that our emotional reactions aren't automatic. They are shaped by how we choose to interpret and respond to what happens around us. So how does the inner pause work? When you feel that rush of emotion, whether it's anger, frustration, or even anxiety, train yourself to pause for just a moment before you react. It could be as simple as counting to 5, taking a deep breath, or even stepping away from the situation for a few seconds. This short pause gives your mind time to process the emotion before it takes over. But here's the important part. The pause doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. Instead, it's about acknowledging them without allowing them to dictate your behavior. For example, if a colleague makes a comment that frustrates you, instead of snapping back immediately, take a deep breath and reflect, what am I really feeling right now? How would a calm and thoughtful response look? This practice helps you break free from the automatic cycle of reacting impulsively. Over time, it gives you the ability to respond with clarity and wisdom, even in emotionally charged situations. The more you practice this inner pause, the more emotional resilience you'll build, helping you navigate life's challenges with a steadier, more intentional response. Through these habits, you can start to cultivate a sense of emotional mastery that allows you to stay grounded even when life tries to throw you off course. So next time you feel that rush of emotion, remember the pause is your key to maintaining control. Picking up from where we left off, practicing the inner pause helps you handle every emotional reaction, big or small, by creating space between stimulus and response. But this is just one powerful tool in building emotional strength. The beauty of the inner pause is that it can be used in any emotionally charged situation, whether you're dealing with frustration in a meeting, anger in a heated argument, or anxiety before an important event. Taking that brief moment to pause allows you to regain control over your emotional state. You no longer react impulsively. Instead, you direct your energy in a more productive way. Incorporating this habit into your life doesn't require sweeping changes. It's about consistency, pausing, reflecting, and choosing your response thoughtfully. This simple practice can be built over time and will make you emotionally resilient. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to handle your emotions with grace and composure. So next time you feel emotions rising, remember to take a deep breath and practice the inner pause. Let that small moment of stillness be the bridge between your feelings and your response. In doing so, you'll find yourself reacting with more thoughtfulness, confidence, and emotional strength. 3. Be honest with yourself. Own your truth without shame. One of the greatest challenges on the journey to emotional strength is being truly honest with ourselves. Have you ever faced a truth about yourself that made you uncomfortable? Whether it's a mistake you made, a decision you regret, or an aspect of yourself you've been avoiding, honesty with yourself is the bedrock of growth. We all face moments when rejection, failure, or emotional turmoil make us question our worth, our actions, and our decisions. In these moments, it's tempting to hide behind denial or defensiveness. But here's the secret. It's in these vulnerable moments that we have the chance to grow stronger. The third habit for building emotional strength is to embrace your truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. The Stoics knew this well. They understood that facing our flaws, acknowledging our emotions, and accepting our imperfections were essential steps on the path to wisdom and emotional resilience. By accepting the truth of who we are, without shame or avoidance, we lay the foundation for true growth and self-awareness. When we're honest with ourselves, we stop hiding from our mistakes, flaws, and insecurities. We stop pretending that everything is always fine. Instead, we acknowledge our shortcomings, not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and improve. Self-honesty isn't about self-criticism, it's about acceptance. Think about times when you avoided facing uncomfortable truths about yourself. Maybe it was a pattern in your relationships that you didn't want to acknowledge, a career choice that wasn't right for you, or a habit that held you back. How did you feel when you finally faced that truth? It probably stung at first, but in that moment of honesty, you gained clarity, understanding, and the power to change. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly." This powerful statement reminds us that true strength comes from knowing and accepting our authentic self. Only when we are honest with ourselves can we begin to take full responsibility for our actions and choices. We stop blaming external factors and focus on what we can control: our responses, mindset, and growth. Honesty with yourself means recognizing not just your flaws, but also your strengths. It's about embracing the full picture of who you are. At first, it may feel vulnerable, but this honesty is your gateway to freedom, the freedom to improve, grow, and become emotionally resilient. Are you ready to face the truth about yourself? Because in doing so, you'll unlock the power to change your life. Continuing from the previous point, remember that honesty is the foundation of freedom. When you stop pretending and accept the truth of who you are, you're no longer burdened by the weight of denial. Honesty brings freedom. It liberates you from the emotional weight of pretending to be someone you're not. By practicing self-honesty, you stop hiding behind the facade you've built and begin to live authentically. It's about shedding the layers of defensiveness and denial that cloud your vision. The more you embrace the truth, the clearer you can see yourself and the world around you. So, how can you practice this habit? Start by creating time for self-reflection every day. Sit with your thoughts and ask yourself some tough questions. Where am I holding myself back? What do I need to admit to myself in order to move forward? What do I need to change in my life to align with my true values? By making self-honesty a daily habit, you begin to peel away the layers of self-deception. This process will allow you to see yourself more clearly and approach life with more confidence. When you're grounded in your own reality, you stop living in an illusion. You no longer need to hide, deny, or make excuses for who you are. Instead, you unlock a deeper level of emotional strength and authenticity that empowers you to face any challenge with clarity and resilience. 4. Reflect on daily events. Carry a mirror for your life. At the end of each day, how often do you truly take a moment to reflect on your actions, reactions, and emotions? Many of us rush through the day, pushing forward without taking the time to examine the experiences that shape us. But here's the truth. The key to emotional strength lies in the ability to reflect on these events and learn from them. This practice is known as self-reflection, and it's one of the most effective ways to cultivate emotional awareness and growth. The fourth habit for emotional strength is simple yet powerful. Spend time each day reflecting on your wins and mistakes. The Stoics believed that self-awareness was crucial for living a virtuous and intentional life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often wrote about his actions and reactions, seeking to understand where he could improve. Reflection allows us to step outside the hustle and bustle of daily life and observe ourselves with clarity and objectivity. So why is reflection so powerful? First, it helps us become aware of our emotional responses. We often react to situations impulsively or out of habit, driven by emotions like anger or fear. But when we pause to reflect, we gain insight into why we acted the way we did. Did we respond with calm and reason, or did we let our emotions dictate our reactions? Reflection helps us identify patterns in our behavior, recognizing areas where we can improve and reinforcing the strengths that served us well. Think back to the last time you encountered a difficult or emotionally charged situation. How did you handle it? Did you respond thoughtfully, or did you react impulsively? By taking a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect, you can identify what worked well and what didn't. This practice is not about self-criticism. It's about understanding ourselves better so that we can make more intentional, aligned choices moving forward. For example, let's say you had a disagreement with a colleague. Instead of carrying that frustration into the rest of your day, take a moment to reflect on what happened. Did you listen actively? Did you remain calm? Or did you let your emotions take control? By reflecting on this interaction, you can gain insight into how to improve your communication and emotional responses next time. This practice of reflection doesn't need to be long or complicated. It could be as simple as taking 5 minutes before bed to review your day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done differently? How did I handle my emotions? What can I learn from this experience? This quick exercise allows you to course correct before your emotions dictate your next steps. By regularly reflecting on your actions and emotions, you become more emotionally aware, making it easier to navigate challenges with greater composure and clarity in the future. Building on the importance of reflection. Remember that looking back on your day isn't just about recognizing where you fell short. It's also about celebrating your progress and growth. Reflection gives you the opportunity to see how far you've come, even in the smallest of moments. Reflection is a powerful tool that can help you prevent things from spiraling out of control and help you approach tomorrow with more wisdom and control. The Stoics used reflection not only to learn from their mistakes, but also to celebrate their progress. They understood that true growth happens not just by acknowledging our failures, but by recognizing the resilience and strength we've built over time. Reflection isn't just about seeing where we've fallen short. It's about recognizing and appreciating how far we've come. By looking at our actions with a reflective mindset, we give ourselves the space to appreciate the journey, no matter how small the victories seem. Make self-reflection a regular habit. Spend just a few minutes each evening reflecting on your day. Use that time to learn from your experiences, celebrate your progress, and identify areas for growth. The more you practice this habit, the stronger your emotional awareness and resilience will become. Through this simple yet powerful practice, you build the emotional clarity and wisdom needed to face life's challenges with strength and purpose. 5. Practice daily gratitude. Remember what you already have. How often do you find yourself focusing on what you don't have, what you want, or what's missing in your life? In a world that constantly pushes us to strive for more, it's easy to forget what we already have. Whether it's a promotion at work, a better relationship, or simply more time in the day, we often feel like we're constantly reaching for the next goal, the next achievement, and the next level. But in the rush to achieve, we often forget to appreciate what we've already accomplished. The 5th habit for building emotional strength is one that the Stoics valued deeply: practicing daily gratitude. Gratitude isn't just about feeling thankful for the good things that happen to us. It's about acknowledging and appreciating the simple things in life that we often take for granted. This practice can shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, and it's one of the most powerful ways to build emotional resilience. When we focus on what we have instead of what we lack, we shift our perspective. We start to see how much we've already accomplished, how many blessings we already possess, and how fortunate we are to have what we have. This shift in mindset doesn't just improve our emotional well-being. It helps us appreciate the journey rather than just the destination. Gratitude grounds us in the present moment, allowing us to see the goodness in life even when things aren't perfect. The Stoics, such as Seneca, believed that gratitude was a cornerstone of emotional strength. Seneca famously wrote, "A good character is not formed in a week or a month. It is created little by little, day by day." Gratitude plays a crucial role in this daily process. It's not about waiting for big events to be thankful for. It's about appreciating the everyday moments, the things that often go unnoticed. Gratitude helps us cultivate peace regardless of the circumstances. It reminds us of all the things that are already good in our lives, even when other things might seem difficult. Start small. Take just a few minutes every day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, whether it's the people in your life, the opportunities you've had, or the small moments of joy. Maybe it's a delicious cup of coffee, a beautiful sunset, or a meaningful conversation. Take a moment to write them down or simply acknowledge them in your mind. This simple practice can have a profound impact on your emotional strength and your outlook on life. But gratitude isn't just a passive feeling, it's an active choice. You can choose to focus on the things that make you feel content and thankful, even when life isn't perfect. You can choose to see the positive aspects of your life, even in the face of challenges or setbacks. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the abundance in our lives rather than the absence. This shift in focus builds a resilient emotional foundation, helping us face adversity with strength and calm. Continuing from where we left off, remember that gratitude doesn't just improve your emotional well-being, it also strengthens your relationships and spreads positivity to those around you. Gratitude deepens our connection to others. When we express appreciation, whether to a friend, family member, or colleague, we strengthen our bonds and create an environment of positivity and support. It's not just a practice that benefits us, it radiates outward, helping others feel valued and appreciated. This simple habit strengthens not only our emotional well-being, but also builds an uplifting atmosphere that supports everyone involved. So, how can you begin? Start tomorrow morning by listing 3 things you're grateful for. These can be small moments like a warm cup of coffee or the sunshine outside your window, or bigger blessings like your health or a supportive friend. Then, when challenges arise throughout the day, remind yourself of the things that are already going well in your life. Gratitude becomes a daily practice that fosters emotional strength and helps you stay grounded no matter what comes your way. 6. Learn the art of letting go. Accept loss as part of life. We all face loss at some point, whether it's the loss of a job, a relationship, a dream, or even our sense of certainty about the future. Loss can come in many forms, and it often brings with it a whirlwind of emotions, sadness, anger, disappointment, and fear. When loss strikes, it can feel like the rug has been pulled out from under us, leaving us lost and uncertain. But here's the key. Loss is not the end. It's a natural part of life, and learning to let go is one of the most powerful ways to build emotional resilience. The 6th habit for emotional strength is learning the art of letting go, embracing loss, not as something that defines or breaks you, but as a natural and inevitable part of life. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, believed that everything in life is temporary, including the things we hold dear. He famously wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." Life is constantly in flux. People, possessions, opportunities, everything is subject to change. The key isn't avoiding loss or trying to control it, but rather accepting it with grace and understanding. Letting go doesn't mean you didn't care or that you didn't value what you lost. It's about acknowledging that loss is inevitable and that holding on to it, through grief, anger, or regret, only weighs down your emotional well-being. By letting go, you free yourself from the burden of the past and make room for new opportunities, growth, and peace. Think for a moment, are there things in your life you've been holding on to? Whether it's people, situations, or old beliefs, we often cling to things that no longer serve us, either because we fear the unknown or because we're afraid of the pain that comes with letting go. But in truth, it's only through letting go that we create the space for something better to come into our lives. The act of letting go can be liberating. It lifts the emotional weight of clinging to what was allowing you to move forward without being shackled by the past. Whether it's letting go of resentment after a difficult breakup, releasing expectations after a job rejection, or accepting that you cannot change the past, each act of letting go strengthens your emotional resilience. You become more capable of embracing life as it is, with all its uncertainties and challenges. In practical terms, learning to let go can be as simple as recognizing that you can't control everything, and it's okay to release the need to fix or hold on to things. It's about accepting that even in the face of loss, you have the power to choose how you move forward. By letting go, you free yourself from the emotional chains that keep you tied to what's no longer serving you, and you make room for new positive experiences to enter your life. Building on the importance of letting go, remember that releasing what no longer serves us is a powerful step in creating space for something better in our lives. Learning to choose how you respond is at the heart of emotional resilience. You can choose to accept what has happened, move forward, and trust that life will continue to unfold in ways that are beyond your control. Letting go also means releasing the need for external validation. Many times we hold on to relationships' approval or past successes because they define us. But true emotional strength comes when we realize that our worth is not tied to any external validation. It's inherent in who we are. By letting go of the need for validation, we open ourselves to freedom and self-empowerment. The Stoics taught us that by letting go, we create emotional space for peace, growth, and new possibilities. Loss doesn't have to break us. It can shape us into stronger, more resilient individuals. So practice letting go, not as a defeat, but as an acceptance of life's natural flow. Trust that by releasing what no longer serves you, you are creating space for something greater to enter your life. 7. Set clear priorities. Know what truly matters. How often do you find yourself caught up in the demands of others, rushing through your day only to realize that you've spent most of your time on things that don't actually move you closer to your goals? It's so easy to get distracted by the urgent tasks, by the things that scream for your attention, but don't contribute to the life you truly want to build. Emotional strength is rooted in the ability to identify what truly matters and prioritize it, no matter how many distractions or external pressures arise. The 7th habit for emotional strength is setting clear priorities, knowing what you truly value and where to focus your energy. The Stoics were masters at focusing on what was most important and not getting lost in the noise. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the need to prioritize the right actions and to always focus on what is within our control. He said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it." In other words, we are constantly faced with choices, and what we prioritize, how we choose to spend our time and energy, determines how we experience life. Setting clear priorities means taking a step back and asking yourself, what is truly worth my time? What will I never regret giving my energy to? These questions help you cut through the noise and focus on what matters most. In the chaos of life, It's easy to feel like we need to do everything, but the truth is, we can't do it all. By identifying your priorities, you free yourself from the need to constantly chase after every task or demand. Think about the things you've been spending your time on. How much of it is aligned with your values and long-term goals? We often get caught up in the urgent tasks, like responding to emails, attending meetings, or handling responsibilities that aren't essential to our core purpose. When we prioritize the wrong things, we end up feeling drained, stressed, and disconnected from what truly matters. On the other hand, when you make a conscious decision to focus on what truly matters, everything shifts. You become more purposeful with your time. You say no to things that don't align with your priorities and yes to the things that push you forward. This focus creates a sense of calm and clarity because you know exactly where to direct your energy. Setting priorities isn't about being busy, it's about being intentional. When you focus on what matters most, you start to let go of the small, insignificant tasks that only add to your stress without bringing any real value. Instead, you pour your energy into the things that will make a real difference in your life. You create the space to make progress, to grow, and to cultivate the life you truly want. The Stoics understood that true wisdom comes from focusing on the few important things rather than getting lost in the endless noise of life. Continuing from the idea of setting clear priorities, remember that focusing on what truly matters and letting go of everything else is the key to emotional strength and success. By focusing on what you can control and what will bring you closer to your goals, you create the mental and emotional space needed for clarity and success. Take a moment today to define your top priorities. What are the things that will bring you the most fulfillment and success? What will you never regret giving your time to? By setting clear priorities, you take control of your time, your energy, and your emotional strength. This is how you begin to align your actions with your deepest values and build the life you truly desire. The clearer you are about your priorities, the more power you gain over how you live your day-to-day life. 9. Practice mental detachment. Be present without getting overwhelmed. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and demands. It's so easy to become overwhelmed by the noise around us, whether it's the latest news, the pressure of social expectations, or personal challenges. Sometimes it feels like everything demands our attention all at once. But here's a crucial lesson. Emotional strength doesn't come from reacting to everything that happens around us. It comes from practicing mental detachment. Mental detachment means learning to be present without becoming emotionally consumed by every external circumstance. It's the ability to experience life fully, yet remain grounded and focused even when the world around you is chaotic. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world or ignoring your emotions. Rather, it's about creating a healthy distance from external events and not letting them dictate your emotional state. Think back to a time when you were criticized, judged, or faced negativity. How did you react? Did you allow those external opinions to define your self-worth or disrupt your peace of mind? When we get too emotionally involved in everything that happens around us, we lose our ability to stay centered and clear-headed. Mental detachment helps you step back and process situations from a more objective perspective. It allows you to avoid getting swept away by negative emotions and instead respond with clarity, wisdom, and calm. The Stoics were masters of this concept. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught that we cannot control what others think or say about us. However, what we can control is how we respond to those opinions. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By practicing mental detachment, we allow ourselves to experience the full range of emotions, but we don't let those emotions control us. We respond with clarity and wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. One of the simplest ways to practice mental detachment is to start by recognizing what is within your control and what is not. You can't control other people's actions, opinions, or the outcomes of every situation, but you can control how you interpret and respond to them. When you mentally detach from the need to control everything around you, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and emotional turmoil. This practice also helps you set emotional boundaries. For example, if someone criticizes you or tries to impose their expectations on you, mental detachment allows you to acknowledge the feedback without letting it define your self-worth. You can listen, learn from it if necessary, and then let go of any emotional reaction that doesn't serve you. The goal is to remain focused on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your emotions, while releasing the need to control others or external events. By practicing mental detachment, you also learn to remain present in the moment without letting distractions or negative influences pull you away from your true purpose. This habit helps you stay emotionally grounded and focused on the things that truly matter in your life, rather than being tossed around by every external influence. Building on the concept of mental detachment, remember that remaining present without getting emotionally overwhelmed allows you to navigate life's challenges with clarity and strength. Mental detachment is a practice that frees you from becoming overly attached to outcomes, opinions, or emotions that are beyond your control. It creates a mental space that helps you handle life's challenges with calm resilience. So how can you start practicing mental detachment today? Begin by acknowledging that you don't have to respond to everything that happens around you. Take a moment to pause before reacting, whether it's to criticism, disappointment, or stress. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then let it go. By creating this mental space, you will find that you can handle challenges with calmness, emotional strength, and resilience. 10. Set a daily purpose. What's your why for today? Every day we are given the gift of time. Yet how often do we wake up and simply go through the motions, letting the day unfold without purpose or intention? We fall into the rhythm of routine, letting external factors dictate how we spend our time. But this passive approach can often leave us feeling drained and unfulfilled. To build emotional strength, we must create a sense of purpose in each day. The 10th habit for emotional strength is setting a daily purpose. Identify one specific goal or intention for your day that will give it meaning and direction. This is not about overloading yourself with tasks, but rather about infusing your day with intention. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today? What will bring me a sense of fulfillment by the end of the day? Setting a daily purpose helps you wake up with clarity and energy, knowing exactly what to focus on. Think about how often we let our days slip by without focusing on anything truly meaningful. We go through the motions, responding to emails, attending meetings, running errands, but at the end of the day, we feel like we haven't made real progress toward what matters. When we set a daily purpose, we are actively choosing where to focus our energy and attention, ensuring that each day is a step towards something bigger. The Stoics often emphasize the importance of living with intention. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, reminded himself daily of his purpose, the values he wanted to uphold, and the way he wanted to show up in the world. He famously said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By setting a daily purpose, you ensure that your thoughts and actions are aligned with your deeper values and goals. This alignment gives you the focus and clarity you need to navigate the challenges of the day. Setting a daily purpose also provides a sense of accomplishment. When you wake up with a clear goal in mind, whether it's completing a task, practicing self-care, learning something new, or helping someone, you give yourself something to strive for. At the end of the day, when you can check off that goal from your list, you'll feel a sense of pride and fulfillment. This builds emotional resilience, reinforcing the habit of taking action and making progress each day, no matter how small. The beauty of setting a daily purpose is that it doesn't have to be grand or monumental. It could be something as simple as, "Today I will take care of my body," or "I will learn something new and apply it," or "I will support a friend who needs it." Whatever your purpose is, make it meaningful to you and aligned with your long-term goals. It's about infusing your day with intention, helping you to stay connected to what truly matters and move forward with purpose. As we've already explored, setting a daily purpose gives your day direction, helping you feel satisfied rather than just ticking off tasks for the sake of it. By setting a clear intention for your day, you transform the ordinary into something meaningful. So tomorrow morning, take a moment to reflect on your why for the day. What do you want to focus on? What will make the day meaningful to you? Setting a daily purpose may seem like a small action, but it is a powerful practice that can significantly boost your productivity, enhance your mindset, and help you approach each day with intention and emotional strength. Reflecting on our journey, building emotional strength. As we reach the end of today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on the powerful habits we've discussed. Building emotional strength isn't about avoiding hardship or trying to control every aspect of our lives. Instead, it's about mastering our responses, choosing a mindset that empowers us, and creating habits that align with our deepest values. The 10 habits we've explored today, ranging from recognizing what's within our control to setting a daily purpose, are not just ways to navigate life's challenges. They are ways to build a resilient, empowered emotional foundation. Each habit we practice helps us reclaim control over our emotional world. Instead of reacting impulsively, we learn to respond with clarity, focus, and strength. By practicing these habits, we build the emotional resilience needed to face rejection, adversity, and life's inevitable ups and downs with grace and wisdom. The Stoics understood that emotional strength comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from embracing it with the right mindset. They knew that true power lies in how we handle life's challenges. Through habits like setting clear priorities, practicing gratitude, letting go of what we can't control, and consistently setting our purpose, we move closer to becoming the strongest version of ourselves. Your challenge begins today. So here's my challenge to you today. Pick one of these 10 habits and commit to practicing it this week. Whether it's taking that inner pause before reacting, setting a daily purpose, or practicing mental detachment, the small changes you make today will build the emotional strength you need for tomorrow. Remember, It's the consistent effort, day by day, that will lead to the transformation you're seeking. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this episode valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can continue to learn, grow, and become emotionally stronger every day.